Are we live? Yeah? Okay. Hey everyone, Dan Doke here. I just want to say thank you so much for coming in to join me today. You know, we're going to give it about a minute or so for letting people log in. Wow, look, a lot of people are logging in already. This is so exciting. You guys are making my day. Thank you so much. I love this. This is awesome. But you know what, before we start, I'm just going to let you know, when I talk about photography and lighting and trying to get you inspired and excited, I have a hard time focusing. So I'm just going to focus on showing you what I do, and then I'm going to circle back afterwards and answer and respond to any questions and all that. Okay? And also for today, I want as much participation as possible. The more you do it, the better. If we're looking at an image and you love it, say, hell yeah, I love that. If you have a question about it, just write it down. Like I said, I'll answer anything and talk and do whatever I got to do afterwards to answer everybody. Okay? So, let's get started. Turn this on. So, today, we're going to learn to capture the light. You know what? So again, my name is Dan Doke. I'm a photographer from Massachusetts, and I am super excited to be here today. I just want to say it's so hard for people to find time to do this, so I greatly appreciate it, and I'm very humbled, and thank you very much for joining me. So here's me. I'm an artist, photographer, and educator. You know what? I just love what I do. It's amazing. I think it's the best profession in the world. So I used to be called the wedding guy. All I ever did was weddings. I just wedding after wedding after wedding. But now what I'm really getting into is I'm getting into wall portraits. I love portraits. I love photographing families. I love photographing children. I love creating pieces of art for the wall. To me, I love seeing the finished artwork hanging on people's walls. So where am I at today? We had a commercial space for years, and now we're working from home. So what we do, this is a studio that we have behind the house. And what we have, I'm only showing you 2 buildings. I actually have 3. But the building on the left is the smaller one, and that's where we do all the production. And that's where Amanda and Angela, who do all my marketing, that's where they work. Then in the other building there, the middle is my gallery when you walk in. And then I have Pam's office, which is my wife, and she's the studio manager. And then I have my office on the right. And what you don't see, I have another building, a 3-car garage, that's connected to that building, and that has my sales room and my camera room in there. So I just want to show you that. Here's a couple locations around it. Here's a front door, right by the front door, the entranceway. Beautiful spot. What I used to do is I would bounce around all the time to different parks, and it would take like 2 or 3 hours because I'd have to, leave a half hour, 40 minutes before, and it was just so hard. I spent so much time. I leave early, I wait for the people, an hour to photograph it, half hour to get home. That's 3 hours. So I've been trying to do more portraits at home, so now I can do a portrait every hour and a half. I can double or triple my income. I love doing studio portraits. I love families. I love emotions. I love getting them all intertwined together. I love photographing kids. It's so amazing to be able to stop their smile, get their eyes. Stop time. It's so powerful. I have to tell you a little story. I had photographs of my kids when they were younger, and they were beautiful. I loved them all. I put them in storage, because I didn't rotate them. I just put them away. Man, I pulled them out about 6 months ago. I was crying. I can't believe how much my kids have grown. I can't believe how cute they were. I mean, they're still cute now, but oh my God, when you see those little expressions, it just brought tears to me. So I am such a believer in the portraits. We've been doing a lot of boudoir lately. It's coming back in style. And what I really love is that the people or the brides or the females who come in, what they're doing is they're saying, well, I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure if I have the body for it and all this stuff. But after a few minutes of talking with me, and especially after I photograph them and show them a few images, they all start saying, oh my God, I feel so comfortable. I feel so good. You're making me feel so awesome. And the best thing is I love them to say, you're making me feel beautiful. And then when they come back to view the pictures like a week or 2 later for the display or the reveal, oh my God, I love that. I love when the families come in. I love when the kids come in. I love when the ladies from the boudoir come in, and they just love their images and they cry. It just makes me feel good. Anyway, so I love doing beach portraits. I love when it starts to get darker. And you know what? I have to say, I am super excited to share my skills. I've been working on it for so long. I've been trying and practicing, and some things work, some things don't. Sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes I have to relearn what I do. But all I want to say is that I am so, so excited to learn and to share. And if I can give anything out, I absolutely will. Please, I love this share. You know what? This is one of my favorite quotes right here. Light makes photography. Embrace light. Admire it. Love it. Oh my God, that is so powerful. You know, embrace light. Admire light. Love it. And then the best thing is to above all, is know light. Once you know light, oh, it can open up so many doors. It's absolutely amazing. So for right now, you know, do you ever feel like you don't have control over your images? Like the images are too bright or too dark. You walk into a lighting situation and you just can't get what you want. You know, I'm here to show you how to, you know, get amazing images all the time. You know, do you struggle where to put lighting? I have a lot of photographers say, well, I'm doing a portrait. Where do you put the lights? And it's kind of like, well, what are you doing? What type of, you know, subject are you doing? Are you doing a close-up, full length? You're doing the face full on? You're doing a profile? And they're like, I don't know. So what I want to do is show you is where whatever you can envision, you know where to put the lights and make it super simple and easy. And then, you know what, when you have that feeling, it happens to me a lot, or it used to happen to me a lot, I guess, is that I will get to a shoot, I'm all excited, and then I just can't get creative. I'm too busy worrying about the tripod, the lens, making sure everything works, where to put the lights. But once you kind of get used to that and you learn your equipment and you learn the direction of lighting of what you want to do, oh my God, it opens up so much to be creative. And that's when all the real magic happens. You know? So I've taken courses over the years with different photographers, and they've all inspired me. I've taken their classes and they showed me how to do this lighting and that lighting or this posing. And I just got so inspired, and when I came home, I practiced and practiced and practiced. And one of the things they did is they challenged me. They said, when you go home, we want you to practice lighting and do it. So my challenge to you is learn everything you can from me in the next few days, and I want you to try it and put it to use. Just try it, and I think you'll love it. And then the best thing is, you know what? I don't want you to be a photographer anymore. I want you to be an artist. An artist creates. An artist designs his image or her image. I want you to walk into any situation and just create beautiful artwork in anywhere you go. Perfect. So my goal for this masterclass, I want you to learn how to light your subjects. If you're doing a portrait, I'm mostly a portrait, or I should say I'm a people photographer. So I worry all the time about where the lighting is going to go. I want to make a heavier person look a little lighter. I want a real thin person to look a little heavier, make them look healthier. If they have a crooked nose, I want to know how to fix that by putting the shadow on the crooked part of the nose so that it looks straight. And I want everyone to learn how to do that. Also, I love available light. And I talk to so many different photographers that I say, I'm an available light photographer. And then sometimes I get to go photograph with them, and they're just looking at lighting one-dimensional. I want to show you how you can take and use available light in so many different ways in the same area. One of the photographers I studied with a lot, he's like, you go to this location, you find your spot, you play with your equipment, you do amazing work. But right before you're done, to let your clients go, you stop for a second, take a breath, and you just turn around and you look behind you. And sometimes you have a better background right behind you or better lighting. So I want everyone just to look around and see what you have. And then also, I want to take your fears away from using flash outside. I have a very simple and easy way of showing you how to control flash, can control the sky, and walk around with pure confidence. So where to start? This is always the hardest thing. People ask me, should I buy all the equipment? Should I do everything? And my answer is like, no. Why don't we start with the basics first, at least for portrait photographers or people who photograph, photographers who photograph people. So what it is like, how am I going to light the face? I want to light the faces, like I said earlier, to make them look the best. So our job as portrait or artists, our job as portrait photographers is to make clients feel and look beautiful. So what I mean by that is I think it's like 80-20, 70-30. If you do a portrait session and they love you, you click with them, and you do an okay job, they're still going to love your portraits. You know, so if you make them feel great and deliver a good product, they're super happy. But I've had times where I didn't click with the people. They didn't trust me for whatever reason, or miscommunication. But I created these amazing portraits and they hated them. So now I've learned, you know what, if I can make them feel beautiful, you know, I can see beauty in everybody. I look at everybody and I can see the beauty in the eyes, the nose, the cheeks. So if I can make them feel like they're as beautiful as I can see them, and then give them the quality portraits, they're going to love everything. So here's the basic lighting patterns that I want to go over. First off is butterfly lighting. This is when the lighting comes down from above, usually, and what happens is it lights up the head, and you can see the light in the eyes, especially when they look up. You get that little, they call it the canoe eyes with the white underneath. So beautiful and stunning. And then you get the, why do they call it the butterfly lighting? Because under the nose it looks like it's a butterfly. And then also you get the little heavier shadows underneath, but then you get the lighting on the shoulders and coming down. It's such a pleasing way of lighting people, and it shows off their features really strong. Split lighting, what a great way of making the photos dynamic, create a little tension in it. I love doing split lighting for women and men, but lots of times when you're trying to show a power portrait, split lighting kind of gives it, and that's just where the light coming off to the side is a dominant light. Beauty lighting, that's when lighting usually comes underneath, and it's not for everybody, but sometimes if the light comes from underneath, you can just make it work. Even though I follow my rules, I know the rules and I follow them, you know what, if the image looks good, just take it. That's, you know, and have fun with it. Short loop lighting is one of my favorites. I think it is one of the most ways of complimenting people to start off with. If I know I only have a few minutes or 30 seconds to photograph somebody, I'm going to get my lights set up for loop lighting. For most faces, it's the most popular. So what is loop lighting? Loop lighting is just that little shadow under the nose. So the light's usually about 45 degrees coming down, and you get that little light, that little shadow under the nose. And that just sculpts the face really beautiful. And then long loop is the same shadow, but just a little bit longer, but usually doesn't break the lip. And what that does, that exaggerates the features. So if they have a smaller nose, you want to make it larger, or if you want to show off their cheekbones, it's a little bit of a stronger light. The next light after that is the Rembrandt lighting, and that is when you close in the shadow. So what I mean by that is, short loop is that little shadow under the nose. Long loop is where it doesn't go over the lip, but you still get a longer shadow. And then here, that shadow closes in, and you get a little triangle on the cheek. And that's very dramatic lighting, and it shapes and sculpts the faces, and it's so dramatic, it's beautiful. For this bride here, when she came in for a consultation, she was beautiful. She was just exquisite looking. She didn't like her appearance. She thought her features were a little too flat. And I'm like, I think you're absolutely gorgeous. She goes, well, I want to look like people on your walls. I want to look like people in your albums. I said, I can do that. Just give me a little bit of time and a little bit of trust. I'll make you gorgeous. And she did. And when I first showed her one of these beautiful images I did, she started crying in a really good way on her wedding day. And I had trust from the rest of the day. Absolutely unbelievable. So now I was just talking about loop lighting. It's like, where do the lights go? Usually, like I said, it's about 45 degrees. So this is what I usually do. Let me go to here. So if I'm going to photograph somebody and I want to figure out where the light goes, if I'm going to do a full face here, what do? I put my arm up 45 degrees and whoop, do it a little closer. I'll put my arm up 45 degrees up here, and that's where my light's going to go. That's going to give me nice loop lighting all the way through. Let me go back to here. Right, so this is full face, the light's 45 degrees, and you get that little shadow. Now, when I turn into 2/3 profile, which is here, where you can see both eyes, but you don't break the skin, so you can see the little skin by the edge of the eye, and the nose doesn't break the cheek. That's the proper way of doing a 2/3. The light follows it, so from full face to 2/3. The light just goes with it, like that. And then when you do profile lighting, that's when you only see half the face, right? So what you want to do is, again, the light just follows it. So the light's actually going to be behind your subject. And this is where here you can create beautiful lighting all the time and be very, very consistent. And wherever the face goes, that's where the light goes. And I'm going to add one more thing to that. So if I'm photographing a dancer and she's looking up, or the bride's looking up to the sky, the light's going to come down and light her face, just like loop lighting. But the light's going to be way above, coming down. So if I'm doing regular straight face, my light's up high, 45, and then when I lift my face up, the light goes up with it at the same angle, and I'll still have loop lighting. And if I'm photographing a dancer when they're doing a low technique, then what happens is as I go low, the face goes low, I'm going to match the light low coming up and just give him that little loop lighting under there also. So it's very consistent, it's very easy. Just kind of remember straight out 45, and that's where your light goes. And you can get beautiful photographs all the time. Here we go. So I think it's so false that everyone says you need all this equipment. You know, you go to a camera store, oh, you need this reflector. I'm just going to go back here for a second. Everyone says you need this reflector, you need this diffuser, you need everything like that. That is so false. What I'd rather have everyone do is take time and practice the art of lighting. Learn the lighting. Learn where to put the lights. Learn how light bounces. Light goes in a straight line, so you want to learn how to kind of maneuver that around or redirect it to where you want. I think if you spend time learning the lighting, and to be truthful, it doesn't matter if it's portraits, weddings, if you're doing outdoor lighting or outdoor portraits, landscapes. If you learn how lighting affects and creates highlights and shadows, that's the most important thing. And then once you have the foundation down, now when you add the reflectors, the softboxes, the domes, or whatever, it opens up a whole new world. And now you can control it even more, but you have a solid foundation for that. Before that. So you know what? Now I'm going to show you a little video on how I can create portraits with just a camera and a flash. So today what I want to show you is it doesn't take a lot of expensive equipment to create beautiful lighting. We're going to do a basic exposure here. We're going to tilt the flash down at our subject, and I'm going to take an image. You'll see that the lighting is not the best with flash on camera. It's really harsh. So if I tilt my flash up here, bounce it off the ceiling, give me a little smile. Nice, you got it right there. Perfect. And what we get is very unpleasing lighting. You get raccoon eyes, you get a big shadow under the nose and under the chin. It's really not the best. To make it a little bit better, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt my flash down just a little bit. I'm going to get a piece of foam core. This is about $1.19 from Walmart. And I'm going to do just hold it over the camera like this. And, ready, give me a little, nice. Take the exposure. And now that's a lot more pleasing. What I'm going to do now is we're going to get rid of the shadows a little bit under her jaw. So I'm going to give her a piece of cardboard to hold underneath. I'm going to grab a second piece. Just put it over the camera. And ready? Give me a little smile. Nice. Perfect. And now you have softer shadows under her face. It's very pleasing. So I'm going to bring a board off from the side. I'm going to bring it in front of her just a little bit. I'm going to turn my flash down and turn it into the board. So what's going to happen is the flash is going to come in, hit the board, and bounce into her. Perfect. And now you have a totally different look. Nice and pleasing. So what we're going to do a little profile lighting. We're going to turn our subject sideways. Now what I'm going to put the board behind, right over here, and still pointing, turn this way just a little bit right there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the flash. I'm going to point it at the board, turn it just enough so it's hitting the board, right there, and I'm going to block the light from hitting her. So, and let's take an exposure. Ready? We'll smile. You got it? Perfect. So now we have beautiful profile lighting. So I just wanted to show you that it doesn't take a lot of equipment, a lot of expensive equipment to get beautiful lighting. So just with a couple pieces of foam core, a simple flash, and a little bit of experimentation, you can get perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that. So what I was going to show you is that with just a flash on camera, you can create beautiful portraits. So sometimes it works when it's straight on, or you can bounce it, or even use this. That's nice. But to create the most soft type of lighting, I do this all the time with portraits and weddings and whatever I'm photographing, is if I use foam core or something like that, or one of those round reflectors. Where is it? There it is there. And the thing is, the closer you get your reflective surface, like your reflector, into the face, the softer the light is. So what I normally do is I bring in, if I'm just doing a head and shoulder shot, I bring the board in as close as I can so it's just out of frame of the camera, and I can adjust it slightly to create where I want the light to go. So then if I'm doing this sideways, here, the light's going to bounce in, bounce back, and give me nice, beautiful lighting. Like that. And then, if I want to light something from the side, like light coming in this way here, I can turn my flash all the way that way and adjust it a little bit just to create, you know, the direction of light. Now you saw me hold my hand up. What I did was, say if I'm shooting this way into the wall to bounce into my subject, you can still see the part of the flash just a little bit. So if your subject can see the flash, that means your flash can see the subject and adding a little bit of light. So what I do is I just cheat a little bit. I put my hand over the flash just a little bit so it's stopping the light falling off sideways. So I hold it up and I take the exposure so the light goes right past my subject, bounces back, but it doesn't have any fall off. And lots of times if it's a little too harsh on the ceiling, if I'm bouncing on the ceiling, I'll just use my fingers and cover it up, and it cuts down the flash a little bit and spreads it out. Make sense? Perfect. Any questions, let me know. And then now I just want to show you an example of this. This is one of my images I did at a wedding, and beautiful light, sunlight coming in. We're working fast, so what I did was I had my flash on camera, and all I did is I just turned I turned my flash sideways, so it was hitting the wall and bouncing back, and then you can see all the texture and detail there is in there. Here's another example. Did the same thing. I just pointed it into the wall, it bounced back. You can see the lighting on the little girl's face where it's kind of split lighting, lighting the bride a little bit. I should have turned her a little bit more just to catch the light, but I think they were actually having a moment. I think the expression in the moment and the feeling of the photograph is a little bit more important than saying, oh, stop, turn, tilt. I'm sure I did a couple, but this is one of my favorite ones because I love the expressions. So remember, if it looks good, take it. You know? So, what your assignment is for today, what I'd like everyone to do is either create a portrait with a flash on camera or post one that you've done before. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad, wherever you want. If you want me to critique it, please say, you know, hey, what do you think of this shot? If you want to share it, just say, hey, I love to share it with you, and let everyone look at it. You know, so I want as much participation as possible. So post the photo. Don't go crazy posting a whole bunch. Choose like one of your favorite ones. You know, I want everyone to see everyone's work. I want to be able to help you grow as much as I can. So you know what? And that leads me to, you know, this is a 3-day course. So this is day 1. On day 2, we're going to kind of go over available light and how to control your flash outside. Then on day 3, I have really exciting news for you. So I want you to be here for all 3 days. Alrighty? So thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot. Please post in the Facebook group, and I will answer any questions. So you know what? This is the end of day 1. Thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.